Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I'm doing good here myself. Can't lie. Can't complain. Thank you all very much. So, let's get into this lecture. All right? People seem to understand and not wanting to understand. People seem to think everything is hard and dandy while everything's falling apart, really. And after all the wandering that I've been doing, I figured, you know what, I'm going to give myself something to do. Because that's the beauty about being self-employed. You get to do it yourself. And after long, hard, thought-out topics about what I wanted to discuss with you all, what I would present to you all, it is pretty much The Matrix. Why do we still talk about The Matrix? Well, first of all, it's a great piece of cinema. All right, you can't. No one has altered our way of thinking about the system, about technology, about how inevitably we'll meet our end at the hands of AI, which pretty much has been predetermined for a very long time. And people think that I don't want to work with them. Fuck them. Get them out. Yeah. People think that, the Matrix is a telltale sign of, something's wrong, the Matrix. Andrew Tate says the Matrix is out to get him. No. The Matrix is a bubble. You're in a free world. There is no bubble other than the one that you create yourself. The Matrix is a multi-faceted technological prison. All right? You're not in prison. All right? The only one imprisoning yourself is you. You are the prisoner of your own body and your own mind. And dare I say it, unless you know and free yourself from set constraints, you can never call yourself a free spirit. I've met a bunch of spiritual people who claim they were spiritual, and they turn up just to be power-hungry agents of the Matrix. Think of it as a Merovingian, all right? We're all, let's just say this real, right? Let's just say this all Matrix shizzle, all right, is what it is. Everyone thinks they're Neo in this movie. If life was a movie and this planet is the Matrix, everyone is thinking they're Neo. Well, you know who else who thought they're the one and made many versions, copies of himself? Agent Smith. So people misconstruize a lot of things. That is why humans are stupid. One thing I've definitely overvalued was human intelligence in the past, even in the recent past. But okay, we'll talk about that another time. But back to the Matrix. So, what is the Matrix here? Matrix is simply a systematic way of thinking that has gotten you trapped in a pattern. All right? And unless you recognize those patterns and alter these patterns, which they don't want you to do, for various reasons, but we'll get into that later. The various reasons they don't want you to change patterns is because you are only as detectable and as recognizable as a pattern, a consistent, recognizable pattern that you still reconcile with as an identity of being you. For example, if you go to the Starbucks every day to get your coffee, that is a pattern. You go to Starbucks every day. Now, do you go to Starbucks every day because you actually like the coffee? Or, why do you go to Starbucks every day? And people who are trapped in a systematic behavioral pattern never even question or never even recognize why they go out to Starbucks every day in the first place. Now, if you're stuck and you don't know why, but you're stuck in a consistent pattern of behavior, then that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first signs that you have been trapped by the Matrix. But enough jibber jabber. Let's get into something serious about the Matrix. The Matrix is systematic planning. Whatever you think has been done and has been going on for an exuberant long time. Now, the Matrix here will tell you that everything is right the way it's supposed to be. It's always been this way, so no need to change it. That's an Agent Smith talking, all right? Because the earth is ever moving and ever changing. And those of you who do not want it to change, you're obviously an Agent Smith in this story. But there are other characters, very well-known characters, which obviously have been displayed before, but never gotten a proper explanation, or let me just put it this way, a philosophical, or should I yet put it, an eloquent explanation of what these characters meant and could have meant had the story played out a little bit further. Now, where we get at, system, AI, we're all talking about being spiritually conscious, but no one really is. I'm spiritually conscious to a degree where I will accept myself and love myself and live a life pretty much enjoyable to my own nature, state of being. Because once you've discovered everything, then you get to alter reality. Then you get to alter yourself. But you don't alter everything too much, because that's what got us in trouble in the first place. And what do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to break the bad news to you, but this is not our planet. All right? The Matrix is not our original planet. Earth, whatever you want to call it, is not our original planet. All right? It's been that way for a very long time. The Earth is like any ball of water. It's fluid. It's constant. It's ever-changing. From the moment we believed the Earth was flat, you should have known that someone was lying to you. Now, I'm here offering the truth. But the truth that's for many limited minds is incapable of accepting that, because we like our news the way we like our information being told to us. We don't like to do the extra work. And I, as a person who did the extra work, is not gonna set this shit up for free. So like, share, and subscribe, and pass around the good news. Anyhow, we have always been in a systematic reality trap. If you pretty much know the story of the Eternals, that's basically how all humans work. Eternals, the Marvel movie. Now, a lot of people will have to tell you that's full of horseshit, but these people don't even know their own ass from their own toes. So, don't worry about that. Now, human. People want to incorporate humans with machines. Now, we are a biological machine. We are a multiversal task of bodies, cells, incorporated through time and space. Equilibrium. Now, get him the fuck out of here. I don't want it. Now, everyone has been through a systematic change. We are a multiversal set of biological technology. Because we like to we always like to refer to ourselves as machines. Now, I always detested that because, we are not machines. We are human beings of flesh and bone and etc. Now I realize with my new findings that we are machines, just not the machine that they incorporate or put out in the Matrix. It's like the Eternals. We're a biological chemistry of a lot of forces. I mean, think about it. You have an atom. You have a cell. And out of one cell grows millions and others of cells. They all get formed together by electronic, tectonic fluids of forms of energy. And here we are, us. A machine that reproduces by itself. Have you ever heard of that? I must think, well, AI is doing that. No. AI is made. It's dead. All right? AI is a dead living thing that we try to breathe life because some of us believe that we are God. And there are only certain levels of people that actually achieve the certain amount of godhood that is required to give and create and guard over all life on Earth. But back to the Matrix. Well, what is the Matrix here versus there? Well, first of all, the Matrix here is different from the Matrix there because the Matrix here doesn't exist. The only reason you ever refer to the Matrix is because of the movie. And you found it very catchy, you found it very trendy, and that's why you put it out there for everyone to see for all these many years. I mean, Andrew Tate has used the Matrix as several occasions to, pretty much elude his own mishaps and avoid his own mistakes, saying that, oh, it's not my fault, it's the Matrix. Oh, it's not my fault, it's someone else. Oh, it's not me who said those words, it was misconstrued by someone else. No, take accountability for your words, Andrew. That's how we get along. Take accountability for what you say and how you say it, and then you'll be a whole lot further along down the line. All right? I take accountability for all my words, when, how, and when I've said it. And when I always apologized, it wasn't. I wasn't saying that I apologized for what I said because I meant what I said. I apologized for the way I said it. Well, I never apologize for what I say. You can forget that shit. So, anyhow, but let's talk about the Matrix here. The Matrix here is just your systematic pattern of behavioral thinking. And the only way to escape that is not to escape yourself, because that's the part that, all spiritual life gurus and teachers and people, well, that's exactly part of the problem. You're running away from yourself. You're not being yourself if you run away from yourself constantly, because then you never find yourself. And white people who are cowards, they're basically always just running away from themselves. Even that a type of truth that remotely confronts them with a shadow of truth of what they've done on this earth is pretty much cast aside. They don't. They are the intellectual pick-me's. They are the. I say it's the intellectual cherry pickers. They only want the good shit of history. They just never want to talk about the bad shit of history. And then they wonder why the bad parts of history keep repeating itself. Some stupid shit, but hey, let's talk about the Matrix. All right, let's not get things scrutinized with my... these are not personal beliefs, by the way. Like, I take this shit non-personal as possible. I just retaliate when necessary. Plus, I'm half white, so yeah, fuck that. Anyhow, back to the Matrix as a movie. It's a great piece of cinema. It reshaped our thinking of and our incorporating of technology. Fuck off. So yeah, it incorporated our basic thinking of technology. And with our system as it is. So there's no need to talk about anything further than what it is as a movie. It's a great piece of cinema. It reshaped our thinking. But what gets people to talk about The Matrix years after it's done still? I mean, you've seen so many videos. Why do people keep talking about it? Well, simply because, there are layers beyond layers and layers of layers with layers on thinking that people still try to... It's like a Rubik's Cube that never got fully solved until you look at it again. You look at it from different angles, and those are the type of, stories and creations that keep on pushing the envelope years after the creators have already been gone or have already passed on, this type of knowledge, because there's still something to learn every time you look at it from a different angle. Doesn't matter what age you are in. I wouldn't say I saw the first Matrix. I think I saw when I was, somewhere around 6, 7. I wasn't even old enough to know what it was yet. But all you could tell is that was a great piece of cinema, and you pretty much loved every second and minute of screen time of it. Matrix Reloaded was something different, but we'll get to that some other time. Because The Matrix as a movie of itself, I also had the pleasure when I was in the Art Academy to, do a full-fledged documentary storytelling on The Matrix. And it was a shame I was blocked from my past to really have a full-tell story about it. Otherwise, I would have had an A++, triple plus on that shit. But yeah, bygones be bygones, I suppose. But The Matrix. Now, if you want to tell a full-fledged story on The Matrix, you might as well do it full circle, right? I mean, who's Agent Smith in our real life? I mean, who is Trinity? Who is Morpheus? Even characters like Cypher, which largely get overlooked since everyone, like I said earlier, is thinking that they're the Neo of their own story. Because everyone wants to be the good guy, right? Even in a world now where in modern cinema we've come to recognize the villain as a more prominent aspect of psychological and cultural analyzation to look at, is simply because villains are more fun. All right? We've heard this all the time before. Bad girls have more fun. Bad boys are this and that. But, really, it's a story about what's the good guy fighting for. Because in the second part of The Matrix, you don't even know what Neo is fighting. Everyone's like, yeah, fuck the system. Well, that's a dumb way of saying okay, I'm going to get myself killed and into trouble for no apparent reason. Which is what a lot of these social and intellectual debunkers have been trying to do. I mean, take a look at Julian Assange. Not saying that I know the full story about it, but if you're going to change the system, fight the system, there's only one way that's going to happen. Money. Because people somehow can't get enough of money. Now, in The Matrix, money is never mentioned. What is mentioned is a different type of currency. Information, knowledge. Knowledge is power. So in this, it becomes of information. But you never see the type of information that's being put out there that can put Neo in potential harm and danger. You never get to see it. All you know is like, okay, he's a computer hacker. Yeah, but what did he do that, you never get to hear that story. So more than likely, it's not a story about information. The currency is not information. The currency of this movie, and especially in the first one, in this world, is seeing the information, recognizing in behavioral patterns. And only when you recognize those parts of information can you really detect that, hey, something is wrong. Because when you see something is wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it, you never know why something is wrong, you just know something is, you know? And that was my feeling as a youngin' growing up, that, okay, I'm in this world, all right? Getting back to the Matrix here, if you want to call it that. Getting back to information here, I knew something was wrong. I just could never tell why or what it was. All I knew was, hey, something is wrong. I don't know. I can't tell what it is, but I know something isn't right. This is 6-year-old me talking to himself. Like, there are things going on. I don't know, but they're not supposed to go like this. So that is the mindset of a 6-year-old. And the only way to combat that, and the only way to challenge that and intellectually challenge yourself, is to go start looking. Until I was 12 years old, I was stuck in the library. Like, you would find me in the library after. You would always find me in a book in my hand. And you would always find me looking up information. Because when you look up information, it's not just you can store information, because God knows, especially when you get into more deeper spiritual life, you can recognize a single cell holds so much data, holds so much information that to pretty much detest that and to conspiculate that the only type of information that exists that actually stores information is your brain. Holy shit, I can't believe how stupid you are. And that's just the God's honest truth. I'm sorry about it, I can't help myself, but a single cell holds more data, all right, holds more information than a 10 tectonic terabyte worth of info that a next generation supercomputer could ever come up with. And here is sitting me telling that the only place that you can store information is the mind. That would be like saying, like, yeah, I got a hard drive in my left titty and I only use it for such and such purposes. But yeah, enough with the jokes. I think I'm the next level comedian here, so while I'm doing this shit. So we always practice, but never perfect, right? So the currency is recognizing patterns within the information that you see. So the part of the problem becomes then, what am I seeing that other people don't want me to see? Because that's the whole reason we've got into this problematic scapegoat of, you know, binging up and down in the first place, is because we are seeing things that are wrong. We all know where they come from, but they don't want you to see. And if you want to get really followable with it, you can look up MK Ultra, all right? Where during the 60s and the hippie movement in the 70s and perhaps even 80s, if I'm not being too formal with that, is pretty much that, okay, there is a bunch of mind-altering capabilities that can either make people more aware or make people more downplay. I mean, the fact that we're even talking about sodas at this point. If you don't know how to use it properly, yeah, it can either alter your mind or it can pretty much break you completely apart. So, and I will say this, I drink this, I'm not saying it's the most healthiest thing on the planet, but it's the better than Coca-Cola, Fria, all that shit. And nothing will intellectually and kill you spiritually quicker than that. I can tell because I used to have a Coca-Cola addiction for years. All right, and the fact that I still maintain a sizable, healthy teeth, all my teeth, and all that's genetics, baby. But yeah, enough jibber jabbing. We're going back to the Matrix. So, as I said before, information is not the currency in the movie of the Matrix. That's not currency. Money isn't currency, information is currency. It's seeing the currency. It's seeing the patterns and recognizing, hey, some of this money is dirty. Some of this information, it doesn't add up. So, you know, you start looking. And you start looking, and you start detecting, you start detesting, you start, yeah, this is a bit off. We'll put that here. This, yeah, that pretty much is the information that you would pretty much detect and separate from such. I'm getting a lot of information, so you gotta excuse me here. Like, I'm in the middle of the beach. It was 9 somewhat o'clock in the morning, and I'm seeing these people. I'm recognizing information, people that want to get and take something, and this is not a proper way to regularly give a lecture, but hey, fuck it, we're free. The world's gonna end soon anyway, so enjoy yourself, bitches. So recognizing the currency of information, and you start to find patterns even with the inconsistencies, and that is the way. This is where most conspiracy theorists fuck up, because they can't recognize the bad theories from the good theories anymore, because there's like just so much information gobbling around. You're really gonna have to pick, like, okay, this is inconsistent, this inconsistent. Do I connect them now or do I connect them later? But most conspiracy theorists, they keep going because they're always looking for that next aha moment, that always next drug, which is that aha that connects it all together. I mean, say about Alex Jones what you want, but he was talking about Epstein years before that scandal even come out. And as much as they want to bury and throw him under the bus, you got to give it up to him for he was the one who exposed all this shit years before. But getting back to the Matrix, so recognizing the currency of information, the inconsistencies within that information, and you start putting that together. Now, the problem isn't you telling someone about that information. It's not even a problem telling the wrong person. It's telling them at the wrong time. How many people did you hear about scandals in politics or scandals in media, and you've had people widely loud-mouthing themselves like they're gonna blow this whole case wide open, and next day or 2 days ago, 2 days later, you find them dead in a ditch somewhere. That's pretty much, well, should I? Yeah, well, we're gonna get into that a little later, because there's a lot of it. Gotta keep it to the Matrix. But even that will attract attention, which ultimately in the story of Neo it got. Now you could talk about the FBI, the CIA, Pentagon, etc., but they're all just pretty much gatekeeping information of what you ought to know, what you should know, and what you shouldn't know. All right, because you don't want the public to panic. Well, Men in Black, and there's another consistency with the Men in Black plus Agent Smiths, because they look very similar. But I'm being asked if any of this is true. Well, then I'll refer to a conclusion of the Hindus when asked, well, what is Hinduism about? What do you believe in? It's anything you can conjure up of your mind. We talk all these stories about dragons and all this stuff, and it's pretty much real. But it's not real in the sense that we can touch it, because we've been suppressing it for so long. Like when you talk about Dungeons and Dragons, or whether you talk about alligators in the sewers, or if you're talking about the Men in Black, all right, Agent Smiths, I mean, they're the gatekeepers of information. Have you ever seen the Adjustment Bureau? You pretty much get it in that sense. And I've been talking in my own personal YouTube about spiritual programming, that you are put in here to do a specific task at a specific moment of your time, and well, if you don't, then you get deleted, or or you get altered into a different state of mind frame and being. But here, I'm at peace, so I can tell you that whatever you believe in it's as much truth or bullshit as less you want to put in it, and the ego, well, it just fuels the bullshit. So, and a lot of people will go through their whole lives never even getting rid of that, or never even attesting or admitting that that is their own problem. So you can skip fast forward to those people that are not going to make it, to people that are definitely going to make it, because they're willing to think and look past their own hubris, past their own bull, as it were. But yeah, attracting the wrong type of attention with the information you require is always going to happen. It can be done culturally, it's done historically, and it's usually done very much within the household. Me, I like information. I like knowing more. And just that simple fact had my parents like, oh, he's knowing too much. They've always withheld information in the household. And you start to rebel because you want to know more. Neo gets to a point of rebellion because he recognizes that even all the work he's been done in seeing the information, seeing that there is something wrong, but not able to pinpoint its exact source of location, which is, of course, when you get in the third movie, you talk about source, you talk about AI. I've even talked about in other movies of the Matrix where you talk about the intuitive AI. And basically I've explained there, and we'll get back to the other part later, that, what makes someone do a choice, even though when rationality would completely argue a different type of point, or the opposite type of point, which, the Matrix will only like to give you one or two choices, right? So, but there are multitudes of choices. But what makes it down to one or the other is simply a lazy mind trying to figure out which one is the better option without putting too much work into it. And that's why you have individuals like the architect who put a fuck ton of work into thinking, so the lazy humans don't have to. They can just accept the programming where it is. And there's always a grand architect. Now, people want to talk about the great collective, but when it comes to faults in the system, they would like to blame it on one or two individuals. Oh, it's the president, Biden, Trump, we've all had it. And first it was Trump, then it was Biden, then it was Barack Obama. And you got to recognize that it really comes down to the people not being able to accept or understand, as the Oracle so blatantly put it. They can't see past a choice that they don't understand. I mean, people go to these voting booths, but they really don't understand why they're doing it. They have a false exclamation as of why they do it, but thanks to George Carlin, the goat, the motherfucking goat, rest in peace, I never got to the voting booth after 18, because it's like any other ritual. It's except for this ritual, it's designed to waste your time and you don't get anything from it. I mean, people are going to the voting booth now. It's like, even in America, it's like, good luck. Nothing has changed since 2004 until Trump shook the whole system. Which is something I'll get back to later. But yeah, there's always a grand architect. But people forget that even though the Queen ordered the people to build the pyramids, all right, build the system, the people willingly engaged in building the pyramids, even under slavery-like circumstances. So if you're looking for someone to blame for the faults in our system, look no further than you. Yes, I'm talking about you. You watching right now, all of you, all right? All of you are to blame for our present circumstances. There's no one grand architect. There is no, dare I say it, a Morgan Freeman lookalike type god. He's not black, he's not white, he's not of any ethnicity, origin. He's just all of you. The collective, all right? The source is you. The source. Now we're going to skip to the third part of the movie where you see all these little machines and they form one giant baby head. You are all the information You are all the choices. You collectively are all to blame for such circumstances that you find yourselves in. Collectively. Now, there isn't to say that there aren't systematic properties and programs in place that have kept certain people under and certain people free to roam and explore and do all the things they wish they could have done years ago. However, nothing changes the fact that we are, if you want to call a system, all right, a matrix, you are part of that system. You are all the characters. You are Neo, you are Smith, you are Cypher, you are Morpheus, Trinity, every single character. You are Dozer. All of you, all right, are a collection of characters that, if refusing to accept, will ultimately be the end of the matrix or the end of the programming. And we've reached it. We've reached the end of the programming. Which is why I'm doing this video without any fear of whatever persecution or whatever, because it's horseshit. You know? There is no greater, God or power. Trust me. I spent looking for him or her, and ultimately all roads came back down, to you. I'll give you an example, right? Hold on. I'll give you. If we talk about love, people think love is, a choice or an imbalance of chemicals, whatever you want to call it. Love. What do you love? All right? Now, we all start from a point, right? We all start, you are that center. You all start from a center. You are that center. Now, people think love, you either go one way or the other way, right? So, there's one way, and then there is the other way, right? Now, one might be the right way, one might be the wrong way. It's really, you just test and decide how you want to go on from that moving on forward. But when it comes to love, you get right back to another type of center. In other words, all roads lead back to you. So whether you're in a love journey, or as they like to call in spiritual so-called life, the twin flame journey, which is a bunch of horseshit, all roads lead back to you. It's all a missing piece of yourself, because you are God. You are the God in your own story. You are the creator of your own matrix. And refusing to accept that or recognize that ultimately leads you to being part of the problem. Part of the ship, part of the crew, right? Part of the collective, part as an individual. Part of the solution, part of the problem, And you might want to go after that into thinking overpopulation. Overpopulation isn't a problem, all right? It's misuse of our territory and our resources. That is the problem. Because we all know you don't need a lot of ground to cover. I mean, even in the Netherlands, I was having a discussion with a guy about a year ago. It's like, okay, even if you were to cram every single Dutch citizen into one particular spot, all right? You want to create like a alien dystopia, or what was that Steven Spielberg game? What was it? It was based on a video game, but you all know what I'm talking about. But if you want to create a dystopian future where everyone is just stacked upon another and, in a cube-like setting, you wouldn't need more than Utrecht to do it. Everyone knows what Utrecht is, if you've been to the Netherlands or lived there for quite a long time. You wouldn't need more than that small to cram every Dutch citizen in there, leaving a lot of room for a lot of people. Same thing with the Aztecs. They were in 30 billion, all right? But people don't want to believe that and don't want to attest to that, because they only want to believe what they've been told. And those are the intellectual, lazy people that will never get anywhere, because, let's face it, they're not. they're not ready. They don't do any work. These are the type of people that want to sound intellectually savvy at cafes to pick up girls, but you know, all the information that they've ever picked up was from someone else. All right, copy someone else. I've had a girl also recently say, yeah, you get your information off the internet. No, I get my information the same way the ancients did. All right, up there. All right, you dissect and you put the pieces together, and it ain't that hard to figure out afterwards where it's all headed and where it's all going to go. You know, that's why I've been to the gym also. I wanted to know what my own mind was capable of if I sat still long enough. Because there are guys that are going crazy at the gym and at COVID still getting heart attacks. But, you know, fuck it. I'm getting besides the point here. All right? So, we're all in a matrix inside of our own. And it's sometimes you need movies like The Matrix to remind you that whatever bubble you think, whatever threat is out there, you are the villain to your own story. And that's what white people in general, systematically in society, have forgotten. That they're whatever, first they were the heroes. If you look at modern cinema, coming back to modern cinema, and if you look at The Matrix, either white people were always the heroes, now they want to portray themselves as the victims, but never do a lot of these attest that a lot of people, no matter what type of Hollywood movie you see, no matter what type of, dare I say it, book you read, as much as you look to the hero, or as much as you want to be the damsel in distress, you are also can attest that you might be the villain to your own story. And I have personally recognized that I have been for a very long time the villain in my own story. Which is what I'm trying to do right now by doing these lectures and, you know, handing out some information in hopes that some of you are still savvy enough to know and to care, because I don't. I have no personal stake in this. I have no care for humans of any kind, spiritual or otherwise, because they're all lying to themselves in the face of the ultimate truth, me, myself. I am the truth that you've tried to bury me, you've tried to hurt me, keep me from achieving success in any way, which way or possible, and I still found a way, managed to be in a place where I can relax. I come to terms with my own morality. I've had, and I'm gonna have a lot more time to reflect moving forward, and live a paradisical life, because I've been to too much not to have it and enjoy it now. So, ladies and gentlemen, you do, all of you, what you want to do, but I ain't part of this system no more. I ain't part of your problem. I never was, and I never want or will to be. So take care, y'all. Peace. Now I'm going to enjoy this beach. And I'm going to enjoy this bitch. Or some bitches you never know. Peace out, y'all. Bye.